Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lauren if you're new here. If you're not new and you're returning, thank you for coming back. You're amazing. Today, you either love or hate these kind of videos, but we are trying out some new makeup. This is pretty much all first impressions. Yeah, for the most part. I'm trying to think if there's anything. There's one item in here that I have tried and have been trying, but everything else is new and I have not tried it. And it's interesting because these kinds of videos came up on a post in Reddit where people were like, I hate first impressions. You really can't tell very much about the makeup. And I totally understand. I do totally understand. But I really like doing first impressions because sometimes right off the bat, you get a feeling for if you like the makeup, if you don't like the product. And then sometimes it does take a little bit longer. Foundations specifically, I feel like take a little bit longer to test. I mean, you can use it once and like it, but maybe in a week later, you might not feel the same, right? So just kind of throwing that out there. Totally understand if you're like, oh, first impressions, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. And for me, I buy not everything. I definitely buy with the intention of liking it. I only buy stuff that I think will work for me. I don't go out of my way to buy stuff that, you know, is just like not my skin type, not my color. Like I have very dry skin. So if I went and I bought something that was marketed for oily skin, I'm kind of setting myself up for failure. But as I am the one that purchases all of these products, maybe one day I'll get some free stuff. But for now, it's all me bankrolling me. I want to use it. I want to like it and I want to use it. So hopefully that is what happens with this video. We end up liking these products. But let's just get into it because I have a bunch of stuff in here. Not a lot, because there just hasn't been that much that I've been like a must have, but there's some products that I was really curious about and I wanted to try. So that's what we're doing today. So let's jump into it. So the first product that caught my eye was a product from About Face, which is Halsey's brand. And this is the Smokestick dual-ended smoky eyeshadow stick. I did pick it up in a couple colors. It was really affordable, but I was just curious because what is a dual-ended smoky eyeshadow stick? I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I've had a dual-sided item. So I was like, let's try it out. I have it in two colors. So I have it in Close But No Cigar, which is brown. And then I have it in Purple Haze. But you know, I think we're actually gonna do a very neutral eye look. And I say that because I have a very red lipstick that I would like to try today. So normally when I do a really bright lip, I like to do a more neutral eye to kind of offset it. So this is the, okay, so this is what we have. And one end we have like the little, well, not little, fat pencil, like little eyeshadow stick. And then the other end, we've got this. I am so intrigued. What is it, powder? I think it's powder. It looks like powder, but I think, I don't know, let's just put it on my eyes. Let's see what happens. I'm not really sure what to do with this actually. God, what was the brand that used to have powder sticks like this? Had to have been like Tarte or something like that. But let's go in actually with the cream stick first. Kind of want to see how this applies, and then we'll do the powder on the rest of my eye. Ignore my cat. He's not allowed in here right now. That's Ritzy, if you can hear him. He is a lot right now. He's very needy. And I think because it's cold and he wants to cuddle. Okay, that went out well. It blended out well with a brush. Okay, so far so good. We are gonna go in with a little more. Actually, no, I kind of like that. No, let's go into the crease. My crease is a mess. Okay, go in with a little more. I like things that are easy, you know? Like I definitely, sometimes like, especially lately, I've been reaching for a lot of things that are just one and done kind of looks. So I've been using a lot of cream shadows, especially like the RMS, oh God, what are those called? I use it like every day. Well, the RMS cream shadows that they have are fantastic. The only oily place that I have on my face is my eyelids, and the cream lights, I think that's what they're called, the RMS cream lights. I can put them on and they last all day. I think I have them in every color. But that's kind of what drew me to this particular product, because I was like, oh, that sounds like it would make my life easy, and I like that. Okay, that went on really well, and I like that it blended out really easily with a brush. But let's go ahead, oh! The lid literally just pops off the powder side. So let's go in with this guy. It's interesting, that's for sure. Okay, that was really easy and really fast, and obviously this is a first impression, so I can't give you wear time or anything like that right now, but would you be interested if I did updates later in the month about new products that I tried? Let me know. I'm actually gonna go in with the powder side again and just put some under my waterline. Okay, I kind of really like this product. This is kind of really working out well. It's just so easy. I do have some creasing, but honestly, like, my eye's been a little bit puffy lately, so it's more like my eye is just not laying flat. Oh, and everything has like this one crease in it in the same spot, so that's how I know it's my eye and not the product. Okay, I let the cat in. He was not gonna stop. Okay, so there is one other eye product that I have that's new. This is from Flower Beauty, but these reminded me so much of the Charlotte Tilbury eyeliners that I was kind of hoping that Flower Beauty was doing a dupe, because the pencil eyeliners from Charlotte Tilbury are fantastic. They do not budge. They do this dual-ended colors. Okay, kitty, calm down. And they're just fantastic. So I'm like, okay, if I can get those at a less expensive price, that would be fantastic. So I've got the black and bronze one. We are just gonna be playing with the black side. And I haven't used it yet, so it's brand new. Let's try this out. Okay, again, this is one of those products that it's gonna be important for me to wear a few times in order to kind of gauge the longevity. For me, with pencil eyeliners, it's hard to find a good one. There's only a couple that I really use because they do not budge throughout the day. Hopefully this is one of them, because I'd love to pay less for it. I realized I don't have a new liquid eyeliner. I don't have a new mascara. I'm gonna just put on some of my tried and trues right now so I can finish up the eyes, and then we're gonna move on to the rest of the face. Super simple eye look, but pretty good for what I intend for the rest of the face. I swear to God, the amount of cats that I have is out of control. Moving on to the rest of the face, before Kitty gets impatient and hops on my head. He does that at night, particularly. It's great. So no new primer today. Definitely don't need any new primers. But I did use one of the items in my project pan, which is the Guerlain, I can never say this one. Okay, Essence d'Eclat Allure Pure Radiance Concentrate with Pure Gold primer. I got this as a sample. This little guy, travel size, has lasted me so long. I've used this so many times, and it still has like a third left. It's impressive. Okay, so that is the face primer that I used, and I really wanted to try the new foundation from Makeup Forever. This is the HD Skin Hydra Glow foundation, and to be honest, when picking my shade online, I really wanted the mini size, so I got the mini size. I love that they have that as an option. They don't have every single color in the miniature size, which is kind of a bummer, and it is very hard to figure out my color online. Going by the names, I'm like, okay, I'm light neutral. That tends to be the color that I choose. But then looking at the color, like even looking at the color on the box, it looks too dark. But then I actually have their, I think it's their matte version in this color, which is 1R02. That's the color that I picked up. And that's the only reason why I knew this color was gonna look for me, because look at that. Look compared to the little dot on the package, and online it looks so much darker too. So I kind of wonder if this is gonna oxidize on me, but we are trying this out. Now it looks too light. Looks very light. I also picked up the foundation brush from Makeup Forever because I'm really into foundation brushes. they're kind of amazing, and I don't know why I haven't used one for a long time. I really like the other version of this foundation. I have one of the colors in my project pan, and I use it all the time. I brought it to Disney World, and it was pretty much the only foundation that I used, even though I brought a couple others, but I was just really liking it. This is definitely a dewy looking foundation. Undetectable Skin Booster Foundation. Okay, interesting. Not really sure what that means. How are you gonna boost my skin foundation? But yeah, I can definitely see that this is super dewy looking, a little bit luminous. It's doing nothing to hide my pores right here. It is accentuating them, if anything. And I think the concealer that I have is gonna make the problem even worse, to be honest. Because the concealer that we are using today is the only item that I've been using. And I like it, but it's very liquidy. I feel like I look super glowy. It's definitely giving me quite a bit of glowy luminosity on my face. We are definitely gonna have to use a setting powder with this one. But first, let's go to my concealer that I have been using. This is from Fenty Beauty. This is their new concealer, which is the Hydrating Longwear Concealer. I have mine in the color 140N, and this is just interesting because I've seen quite a few reviews for this concealer, and a lot of people don't like it. I don't not like it, but it is pretty liquidy. I'm going back in with the same brush. I actually really like that, but I think I'm gonna go over it too with my sponge just to set everything a little bit better. It's kind of what I like to do when using a foundation brush. I like to go in with one final swoop with my blender, spongy blender. Okay, now just going in with a makeup sponge, setting that, just kind of pressing it into the skin a little bit more. I think that's helping. So for my under eyes, typically what I look for in a concealer, look, I'm 35 and I have lines under my eyes, so I want something that doesn't settle in. And I think the Fenty does a pretty good job not setting into my fine lines, and it does do a good job of just adding a little bit of glowiness. My issues under my eyes are, they're hollow. It's not like I have super dark under eyes, luckily, but they are hollow, so they can look kind of indented, and I like a product that makes them a little more even with the rest of my skin. Does that make sense? So not so indented. Okay, after using the makeup sponge, I am really liking that foundation. It is definitely glowy. It's still glowy, but I think the makeup sponge helped press it into the skin a little bit better. It's really pretty. It definitely is not doing any favors for my pores, which honestly is pretty normal for any sort of foundation that is marketing itself as glowy or luminous. Those tend not to be heavy coverage foundations, and they tend to be ones that highlight any sort of imperfection on your skin. So if you're fine with that, I mean, look, it's normal, okay? Like, this is just normal skin. So I don't mind, but I am gonna set it with a little bit of powder because I can see it getting a little bit slippy throughout the day. And again, I don't have oily skin. I have very dry skin, but if something is gonna wear down, it's gonna wear down in my T-zone first. So that's typically where I like to do a little bit of powder. And just so you know, the powder that I'm using is from DECORTÉ. This is the Aura Reflector in Crystal Lavender. It's a Japanese brand and it's so pretty. It's great powder. Okay, but I do like a glowy foundation. So I am actually liking that quite a bit right now. Who cares about your pores, right? Who cares? Okay, moving on. We actually have a product from r.e.m Beauty, and I have had mixed results with r.e.m, which is Ariana Grande's brand. Some things I like and some things I think just haven't been for my skin. So the foundation, well, isn't bad. I don't think it's for my skin. I think it's a little too drying. So if you have combo or oilier skin, I think it would work better for you. It's too drying on my skin. What I've been doing lately with it though, just to try to really solidify my feelings on it, is I'll mix some sort of like luminizer in with it, you know, like the Charlotte Tilbury, what is that face glowy thing, you know, the one that everyone talks so highly about. I do like to use that product for foundations that are a little bit more dry on my skin, especially during the winter. Like I need something that's a little more hydrating, and I feel like doing that makes that foundation work a lot better. But it still is not my favorite. It's still not my favorite. But I actually like their lip products. They have good lip products. So I was intrigued when they came out with bronzer. So this is the Hypernova Satin Matte Bronzer in the color Send to Voicemail. I believe this is the lightest shade that they have. So we are going to check it out. This is the outer packaging. I think they think it's like futuristic, spacey. I think that's kind of the theme. But it's plastic. I will kind of wish it wasn't. I wish it was a little more high-end, because I feel like Ariana Grande could do a little more high-end packaging. But this is what it looks like. And we actually got the corresponding brush, because I was talking about foundation brushes, how I've been liking them a lot lately. I've actually been using the foundation brush from r.e.m a lot. My only issue with foundation brushes is they're really hard to clean. I don't know if anyone else has that issue, but they just like soak up product, and I feel like it's really hard to get it all out of the brush. So yeah, that's my feelings on, I'm talking a lot about brushes. But let's go in with this bronzer. It's a weird brush. It's got like a little indent in the middle of it. I'm not using that mirror. I'm gonna use my big mirror. But let's just kind of pat it in. Now with bronzers, what I like to see is a bronzer that's more neutral leaning. So a lot of bronzers, I mean, the whole point of a bronzer is to warm up your face, right? But for me, because I am a more neutral, cool-toned, pale lady, if I use a bronzer that's super warm, it's gonna look like I just smeared orange all over my face. So I like bronzers that are a little more neutral leaning. And when I saw this one online, that's kind of what intrigued me, because it did look like the color was not as warm as what I typically see. And it's a little more neutral. I actually do like that. That went on really nice. And it's pretty light. It's pretty light, which works for me. We'll go in just a little darker. I do really like that. Okay. And you definitely can layer it. Like going in with a second layer, you can see that color deepening up. Oh wow, look at, there's so much kick up in the pan. Okay, it's powdery. Be careful. I have two blushes. I also got one of the new blushes from r.e.m Beauty. I also got the blush from Milk Makeup. I don't know if I want to use this right now. I'm a little intimidated. I got it in the color Burst, so I might need to just do a separate short with this one. But everything I've seen, it stains, but everyone loves it. So I don't know. I'm gonna save this one for later, I think. And I'm gonna just do a short to really highlight it separately, because I just don't know if, I just don't know today. I don't know if that's in the cards. So let's use the blush from r.e.m Beauty. I got it in the color Skinny Dipped. Again, we are doing a more like spacey packaging. Packaging is different than the bronzer, which is nice. And I got mine in this pretty kind of pale pink, not that bright pink that I think I have 18 blushes in. I wanted something a little more neutral for everyday wear, so I thought this was perfect. And again, this is very powdery, just like the bronzer, but I'm just gonna tap it on. And like the bronzer, it seems to have a decent amount of pigmentation, and as powder, it's going on really nicely. And it's just the color I was looking for too. I was looking for something just a little more like everyday. Typically, I definitely always wear bronzer every day. I love bronzer, but I don't always use a blush every day actually. Okay, I actually really like that. Nice, okay. Oh, okay, win for r.e.m Beauty. Interesting. I actually like both. Again, though, I do wish that these had a little more weight to them. The packaging was a little more heavier, because this one in particular, this like little round guy, super lightweight. I feel like I'm gonna throw him on the floor. Not on purpose, on accident. But it's very light and a little bit slippery too. So I wish I had a little more weight so I could, you know, feel a little more secure in holding it. We are moving on. The last new item that I picked up is one of the new lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury, and she sold me on it because it was described as like a cool toned red, and I was like, oh, I am very intrigued. So I picked up her Matte Revolution Luminous Modern Matte Long Lasting Lipstick in the color Cinematic Red. I haven't even opened the packaging yet. Oh, and I just ripped the packaging apart, because that's what we do here. We destroy the packaging. But it comes in this fancy little red tube, and this is the color. So hopefully you can see that. But that is what, I think, the last step to this look. I'm gonna put on some lip liner. I have my Makeup Forever Aqua Lip in the color 8C. So I'm gonna do some lip liner first. Okay, I know that lip liner always looks ridiculous, especially the way that I do it, but let's go in with this lipstick. That's an interesting color. It's definitely a couple shades darker than the lip liner I used, so I may need to get a different lip liner for next time I use it. It's a little bit deeper than this color, but that's a really pretty red. It does seem to be a little more cool tone than a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks that I've tried, but I actually like it quite a bit. I think it really goes well with my cooler, more neutral skin tone, and I think it looks really good with this look too. Like, this look kind of came together perfectly, if I do say so myself. So now that the look is complete, let's go through the items that we tried today and talk about them and what my initial first impressions are, because again, for a lot of these, it is a first impression. So let's kind of go through the list. Let's start with the eye products that we used. First up, we have the About Face Smokestick, the dual-ended smoky eyeshadow stick. I think this is a great one and done product. Now, we have the heater on, going pretty hot, and I'm not noticing any creasing, but this is an item that I'm gonna have to continue to wear to see how well it does on my oily eyelids. Is it gonna come off throughout the day, or does it have staying power? Because I need staying power. But so far I really like it. I like how it applied. I like that you can use a brush to kind of, you know, buff out the cream side. And I like the powder side. I think this is a really fun and easy to use product, which I really like. The Flower Beauty Eye Pencil Cream and Chrome Eyeliner Duo is the actual name. We only use the black side. Again, this is another item that I'm gonna have to wear test and see how it does throughout the day, because for me, it's really important for my eyeliners to stay on. So that's gonna be kind of the telling point for me. Is it gonna last throughout the day? If it wears off in an hour, then this will be a fail. But I think I'm just gonna have to do an update on these products later so that you know how they actually wear throughout the day and over time. The Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow. Again, love that they make mini sizes. I think this is fantastic for trying out a new product versus buying, you know, a large bottle and then maybe not liking it as much. This is definitely a very luminous, dewy looking product. So if you have super oily skin, I probably wouldn't recommend this one to you. If you are looking for something with more coverage, I also probably wouldn't recommend this to you, because I don't feel like this is a foundation that does a good job with covering up any sort of like blemishes, or if you have pores, which everyone does because that's a normal part of your face, they're not going to do a great job covering up. So I mean, if you have a good concealer that you want to use in unison with this, that might be your best bet if you do have any problem areas that you want to cover up. But I would say the coverage is not going to be high, it's not thick, it's very thin on the face, which I really like. I like a more thin foundation that doesn't feel like I'm wearing foundation. And I really like it. It's very glowy, it's very dewy, it feels great on the face. It worked really well when I used the brush and the sponge together. I think using that sponge to really press it into my face just made the difference. It's an interesting product. So again, this is another one that I'm gonna have to continue to use to see how I really like it, but so far so good. The Fenty Hydrating Longwear Concealer. So far I have liked it. I don't think it has intense coverage, but I think it does have a little bit of glowiness that kind of helps with what I considered like my under eye problems. So they're just kind of hollow. So I think if you have darker under eyes and you're trying to cover it up, this is going to be too liquidy for something like that. But I do like it for like my problem areas. Using it to cover up my pores I thought worked really well too, in tandem with the Makeup Forever foundation. So far I have been liking this. And I like that it doesn't settle into my fine lines. I do kind of think today was a win for r.e.m Beauty. Who would have thought? But I really liked the blush and I really liked the bronzer. I really liked the color of this bronzer. I was impressed by how smoothly it went on. With powder, you kind of never know. I've definitely had powders where patchiness is an issue, but this went on flawlessly. I mean, I did use the actual brush from the line, so maybe that helped, but even the brush I really liked. So yeah, I really like these products. Okay. Last but not least, the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the color Cinematic. And I really like it. I like that it's a little bit darker, a little bit deeper, and I just think the color works really well with my more neutral, cool toned skin color. I think it kind of works just incredibly well. So I am excited to use this more. I love my red lipsticks. So yeah, I think this was a win as well. Overall, I'm really happy with everything that I picked up. And that's really the point of me buying new makeup. I want it to work for me. Again, like I don't go out of my way to buy stuff that I know is not gonna work on my skin, or I'm already primed to hate, you know? These items were picked up and picked out because I thought they would work well for me. And I'm really excited that pretty much all of them so far have. Now, some of them we need to do some wear tests to see if they will stand the test of time, but overall, I'm excited for everything that I picked up, and I'm excited to continue using it all. And I will be doing a short with the Milk makeup jelly blush thing. It intimidated me today, and I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. So I will be trying this one out in a later video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you were interested in any of these new releases, if you picked them up, if you tried them out. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!